everyone. Welcome to the Classy Career Goal podcast. I am back today and we are talking about what to do if you fail starting your business. What if you don't attract enough clients? I know that is a common worry when it comes to launching your dream career, your dream business. You really want to make it happen, but there's all the what ifs because this business needs to support your family, it needs to pay for your expenses. And what if no one wants to buy your product or your service or your coaching package or whatever you're selling? What if no one wants to buy and you're not able to attract any clients? That would be the worst case scenario, right? So today I want to talk about that. I want to share some lessons I have learned because I have had the same exact thoughts, especially now at the beginning of the year when you're making these like big goals and big dreams and you want to make a big career change and you want to launch your dream business this year in 2025. You want to make it happen. But when you look at those goals and you look at where you want to be by the end of December, it can be kind of intimidating. And it means there's going to be a lot of clients that are going to need to find out about you, and you have no idea how you're going to find those clients. So let's talk about that today. First, I want to talk about some mindset stuff that I have learned when it comes to now being in business for over 10 years, what I've learned along the way. By the way, I've failed a lot over those 10 years. I'm going to tell you about some of them today. And then I'm also going to teach you some things that you can do in your marketing so that we can make sure that you're attracting clients and we're making sure that you're getting the sales that you need so you can quit your day job and do this dream business full time because you want more time freedom, you want more flexibility, and you really want to create your dream life in 2025. So let's do that together, okay? So let's talk first about the mindset part of this, because this really is a lesson learning when it comes from when you go from employee to entrepreneur, you learn a lot about mindset. You learn how you need to stay positive. It's extremely important that you stay positive because you are in charge of the future. You're in charge of your sales. So we got to keep you positive. So the first thing that we need to do is we really need to redefine failure as learning. So every time you fail, it's actually a good thing. It means that you're learning. It means that you're growing. It means mistakes mean that now you know what isn't going to work. So we can optimize, we can pivot, we can make changes, and we can ultimately continue to improve your business and continue to improve you getting those sales and those new clients. Now, I always say that you can't fail unless you quit. So if you are willing for this whole next year to keep moving forward with your goal, and if you're willing to not quit, not anytime a failure happens or things didn't go how you wanted it to go, or in Q2 you're like, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. This isn't going to work. You can't quit. You absolutely cannot quit. And this is coming from someone who's had a lot of failures over the last 10 years, but I'm still running this business. We're still moving forward. We're still having a ton of fun here at Classy Career Goal. There's been many other businesses that have quit I have seen those business owners quit, a lot of career coaches quit along those 10 years, but I just keep going. I am consistent and I'm not going to quit. So you can't fail unless you quit. So commit to not quitting over this entire year and use every failure, every mistake, everything as a lesson learned. So this is kind of part of my monthly planning process. Every month I kind of look back and I see, okay, what worked, what didn't work. I just did this for 2024 too, this past year. What did work, what didn't work, and then now making my plan for 2025, I am only going to do those things that did work last year. I'm letting go of the things that did not work because you don't have to keep doing things that don't work. And it's a lot more fun to do the things over and over again that do work. So treat those failures as feedback. One of my biggest failures was over 10 years ago, I launched a membership site and I had to close it. Like it did not work. It was not growing. It was called the Get Ahead Club. This was in 2014. And I was just about to have my first daughter. and I couldn't keep it running. I just knew like I needed to have something that wasn't going to take up all of my time and something that was going to bring in income because I was planning to quit my day job after maternity leave. So I was really focused on like how can I get my business up and running so that after maternity leave I can say goodbye to that day job and do my business full time. And so when I was looking at this product I was selling, I was putting so much time into it. I actually really enjoyed it. I was interviewing other experts. I was part of this membership group, but we were flatlining, we were plateauing. I could not grow this membership site, the Get Ahead Club. So in 2014, before my first daughter was born, we ended up closing the doors of that membership site. It was really, really hard. It was almost like my baby before my first baby. It was like something I'd worked so hard on, I thought was going to work. I'd poured so much time into and so much money into. And finally, I was just going to like, I just let it go. I was like, this is not the right time. This is not the right offer. This is not the product that I'm going to be selling as we go into the next year. And what ended up happening is then a couple of years later, I figured out I used that failure. I learned, took those lessons that I learned, and I ended up launching my next membership program called the Corporate Rescue Plan. And that's been around for, gosh, now it's been almost 8 years that that program has been around and we've been running it. It's actually now almost 10 years that we've been running that membership site. And it's succeeding. It works. And a lot of that is because I had to go through that failure, the Get Ahead Club. I had to close those doors so I could relaunch a product and use my lessons learned to not make the same mistakes and to make it work really, really well. So it continues to work year after year after year. So that's one of my examples. I have a lot more examples of failures. I also have an example. One time I launched a course and I created it for me. I thought people were going to love it. And I put all this time and energy into creating this course. This was even before, this was probably like 2013, even like a year before that. I put so much time and effort into this course. I thought so many people were going to buy it. I created all the content of the course, and guess how many people bought it? Zero. No sales. No one bought the course. And lesson learned, I learned from that I was creating that course for me. It was a course that I thought people would want, but I didn't do market research and I didn't create it for anyone else. So now anytime I launch any sort of product or service now, I launch it with my customers. I launch it live. I record my courses live with my customers and I get their questions and I get their feedback and I continue to improve and make it better. I don't launch courses or create anything alone by myself in my office. I'm always creating my courses with my ideal clients. It's way more fun. And that way I make sure that it's not going to fail because I'm creating actual courses that people actually really want. So that is the first thing, really important mindset wise. We have to redefine failure as learning. We have to make this commitment that we are not going to give up no matter what. We're going to learn from our mistakes and we're going to think like, how can I improve? What can I learn every single month? Kind of going through that process. You can use our free 90-day planner. We have a monthly plan in there. So at the beginning of every month, we look back, kind of see how we're doing, see what we need to focus on for the next month and move on forward. Now, the second part, if you are still worried that you're not going to attract enough clients to make your business work, well, that means you probably don't have a client acquisition plan. We don't have a plan to get clients. So we're Classy Career Girl. We're all about the planning here. So we need a marketing plan. We need that plan to get clients. And this is what we teach our members to do inside of our Corporate Rescue Plan program. We have a whole module dedicated to helping you create your marketing plan. And I'm going to talk about that today because when you have a plan, the doing is easy. And so this is a really important part of the process. Instead of just like worrying, oh, what if I find no clients? Like, let's get out of that mindset and create the plan to get the clients and execute the plan, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then do more of what does work. Super simple, right? So let's create a really good strategy for you to get new clients. And the really important part is, how are people going to find you? So we just need to have a solid plan for people to find you. Now, what this is not is I'm going to post on Instagram and people are going to magically find me. That's what I hear often, and that is not the right answer. The right answer is we need to go find those clients. We need to go find those people. We need to get in front of them so that they know who we are. So there's a couple ways we can do that. Either we can pay for ads or we can get organic traffic and get in front of people ourselves. So the easy way, let's put some money down, pay for ads. We teach you how to do that inside a corporate rescue plan. But if you don't want to pay for ads, especially in the beginning, I actually don't recommend right in the beginning doing ads. I recommend you do this organic traffic to get in front of those clients. So what you want to do is you want to think about who has those clients already, who already has the audience of your ideal clients. And I'll give you some hints right away. One of them might be speaking events and associations and groups that are already gathered. There's people who have already gathered people in real life in where you live. How can we get in front of those groups by speaking to them? That was one of my main strategies in the very beginning was speaking events. I spoke at, I think, every single professional women's group in San Diego. Between 2013 and 2014, if you lived there and were in a women's group, you saw me. I spoke at your group because that was my main marketing strategy to get in front of my audience. Now, digitally through the internet, we have a lot of other options. We can do podcast interviews, so we can get on other people's podcasts who've been running these podcasts for years and building this audience. We can get in front of those clients. Also, Facebook groups is another great example as well too. So just be thinking like, how can I get in front of those audiences, and who has already built up that audience that I can start to get in front of. Um, you have to be doing outreach. So if we're not going to be paying for ads, then we have to do outreach ourselves. We have to be messaging people and emailing people, just like I was messaging those speaking events hosts, those people who ran those speaking events, those associations in San Diego. I would message 5 people a day, 5 people a day, 5 people a day. And that's kind of part of your daily habits and your daily routine so that of those people that you're messaging, you're going to start to hear back from people once you want to get in front of them. So really creating that solid plan, really having that strategy so you know who your ideal clients are and you know how to get in front of them. And then the third way that we're going to make sure that you get those clients over this next year, because one, you're not going to give up. Two, you're going to have a great client acquisition plan and a great marketing plan. And then three, you're going to follow this strategy of making sure you offer value up front. Don't just go straight to the sale. That's the easiest way to turn off your potential customers. So we want to make sure that we're building trust, that we're providing value in the content that we do, just like this podcast. Every week we come out with this podcast. We put videos on our Instagram. I do live webinars often, very often as well, that are totally free because my goal really is to create that value up front. If I'm doing calls for a career coach certification program, those are sales calls that I do with people. But during those calls, I make sure that I provide value up front. No one will come to one of my sales calls or one of my live webinars or one of these podcasts or one of my videos and not get value from me. And that is really important. That's part of building trust and building a relationship with your audience, because sometimes it can take way beyond even 7 times for people to see your offer before they're going to buy from you. So it's really important that you don't just put your offer up one day and then get frustrated that people aren't buying it. We have to make sure that we're building in this content and this value and we're helping people and we're serving people. And I think you'll actually really like this type of marketing strategy of just providing value up front because it feels way less sleazy. It feels like you're just helping people. And I always say to my clients, just show up and help one person every single day. And if you do that, you're going to continue to provide value. You're going to answer questions. You're going to help people. You're going to get to know your audience better, which is going to help you actually create better content and create better products and services for your audience as well. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. I would love to invite you to one of my free webinars coming up. It's all about how to go from employee to entrepreneur. I walk you through the 6 phases that you're going to go through when it comes time to going from employee to entrepreneur, so you can quit your day job and have more time freedom. And that is the Employed Entrepreneur Success Path. And it's inside of my Corporate Rescue Plan membership. You can register for this free webinar at www.classycareergirl.com/free. No, sorry, classy. You can register for this free webinar at www.classycareergirl.com/CRP webinar. And also, if you have not already, make sure you get our free 90-day planner that walks you through the process of completing your vision and your annual plan and your 90-day plan. This is also a really important part. Like if you're worried about your not attracting enough clients, a lot of it just comes down to having a really good plan. So make sure you get our free planner at www.classycareergirl.com/free plan. And I will see you next time. Send in your questions. You can always find me on Instagram at Classy Career Girl. Send me a DM. Let me know what you thought of the podcast and let me know what your questions are about going from employee to entrepreneur. I'll see you next time.